Dear students, welcome to the video lecture of object storage and interoperability. So we're going to discuss about the fundamentals of the access layer here. As a access layer means it is responsible for it contains a set of objects which is responsible for the two activity, that is translate the request and translate the response. Translate the request means the request which is raised by the business layer to the database. Translate the response means the response generated from the database to the business layer. That is the main activity of the classes in the access layer. As we discussed in the previous lesson, that for every business class, one access class to be designed, as well as set of procedure to be followed in designing the access layer. First, we have to understand persistence. The word persistence, object persistence, we have to understand. A database management system is a first start from the DBMS. Database management system is a set of programs that enable the creation and maintenance of a collection of data, collection of related data items. Database DBMS is a set of programs that enable the creation and maintenance of collection of related data items. The fundamental purpose of the DBMS is to provide the reliable and persistent data storage facility and mechanism for efficient and convenient data access and retrieval. The fundamental purpose is to provide the reliable, persistent data storage facility and mechanism for efficient and convenient data access and retrieval. This is the main purpose. What is a persistence? Persistence refer the ability of some object that outlive the programs that created them. So when the object is having a ability, when the object is having a ability to outlive the program which is created, then that is known as persistence. That means that the object is living beyond yes lifetime. That is known as a persistence. So how to create this persistence is the main question. So how to create this? So create a persistence when the data will be when the object will be persistent. So these questions should be properly addressed. So object lifetime is a short for the local objects. Object lifetime is short for local objects, or long for the object indefinitely stored in the database. So when the object time is long, and the object time is long for the object they indefinitely stored in the database. When the object is stored indefinitely in a database, then their lifetime will be higher than allotted. So this is known as a persistence. So we need a storage to store the object also. Okay, that leads to the persistence. So access what the access layer do? Access layer is interact with the database management system. What is database management system? It's a set of programs that enable the creation and maintenance of the collection of related data is known as a DBMS. The fundamental purpose is to provide the reliable, persistent data storage facility and mechanism for efficient, convenient data access and retrieval. That is the purpose of the DBMS. Persistence refers the ability of some objects to outlive the programs that created them. So ability of the objects that outlive the programs that live beyond the execution of the program is known as a persistence. Object lifetime is short for the local objects. Object time is short for local object, long for the objects indefinitely stored in the database. Object storage and persistence and overview. We get an overview about the object storage and persistence. A program will create a large amount of data through its execution. Generally, the programs will create a large amount of data through its execution. Each time of data will have a different lifetime. Each item of a data will have a different lifetime. So every data item will have a different lifetime. Atkinson and et al. And co-authors describe 6 broad categories of lifetime of data. So lifetime of data is divided into 6 broad categories. The first one is transient results to evaluation results to evaluation of expressions. Intermediate results to the evaluation of an expression. Second one, variable involved in the procedure activation, like a parameter, a variable with the localized scope. Variable involved in the procedure activation, parameter which is passed inside the function, and variable with the local scope. Third one is uh, third one is global variable and the variable that are dynamically allocated. Global variable and a variable that are dynamically allocated. Fourth one is the data that exists between the execution of a program is a fourth one. Data exists between the execution of program is known as a fourth one. Fifth one is data that exists between the versions of the program. Data that exists between the versions of the program is the fifth one. The sixth one is data that outlive the program. So six broad categories of lifetime of data is given here. Transient results, the intermediate results to the evaluation of expression, variable involved in the procedure activation, like a parameter, global variable and variable that are dynamically allocated, and data that exists between the execution of the program. Data exists between the execution of the program. Data that exists between the various versions of the program, and data outlive the program. First three categories are transient data. So the transient result and variable in procedure activation and global variable are transient data, and transient data and data that end to exit beyond the lifetime of the creation of the process. The other three are non-transient or persistent data. Other three data are known as a non-transient or persistent data. The essential element in providing a persistent data. So what are the elements that provide the persistent data? First one is identification of the persistent object or reachability, object ID. Identification of the persistent object or reachability. First one is object ID. Second one is properties of the object and their interconnection. The store must be able to coherently manage the non-pointer and pointer data. The store must be able to coherently manage the non-pointer and pointer data. That is intra-object references. Third one is scale of the object store. The scale of the object store. The object store should provide a conceptually infinite store. Okay, the size, scale and size of the object store. The next one is stability. The system should be able to recover from the unexpected failure. The stability means the system should be able to recover from the unexpected failure and return the system to a recent self-consistent state, the previous self-consistent state. This is similar to the reliability requirement of the database management system. So these are the elements that provide the persistent store. Identification of the persistent or persistent object or reachability through object ID, persistent object and the interconnection, and scale, size of the object store, and stability. So these are the elements, essential elements in providing the persistent store. Okay, that's it about the introduction of the persistent, the database, and as well as the object persistence. Okay, thanks for watching the video. Thank you.